Learning a language will make you more money. In this video, I'm going to be explaining to you why you need to become bilingual, bro. If your first language is English, you need to understand the importance of learning a second, a third, and even a fourth language. It is imperative, and it will not only improve you as a person, it will literally be responsible for making you more money. So I'm going to tell you a story about when I was younger. You know, when I was a kid, I always wanted to learn another language. I don't know why. I have a cousin and I'm Caribbean, obviously, but he's half Caribbean and he's half Moroccan. When he was born, you know, we have the same, we're related on our dad's side of the family. He was born in Spain and his mum's Moroccan. And when he came to the UK, he was 3 years old. And when he first came to the UK, he didn't actually know how to speak English. And he was 3, so I was 7. And his mum also didn't know how to speak English, my auntie as well. She only spoke Moroccan and Spanish. And being a kid, you know, when you're young, I'm thinking like, how do I even talk to my little cousin if I can't even speak the same language as him, you know? And I tried to talk to my auntie. I always remember trying to like have conversation, and my auntie is very caring, very loving and stuff like that, being a good auntie. But we never really understood each other because we didn't really speak the same language. I spoke English, she didn't know how to speak English, she only spoke Spanish and Arabic, and my uncle as well could speak Spanish, obviously at that time. That's how they, you know, got together, whatever. So from young, I've always just noticed the importance of learning new languages, but not just to flex and be like, oh, I can speak this, this and that, but just to connect with people. I think for me, when I was younger, I just realized that when you go to learn a new language, you're not learning a language for the sake of learning a new language to say, hey, look at me, I can speak French. You're learning a new language to be able to connect with more people in the world. Let's say, for example, for the rest of this video, I was gonna speak only in Portuguese. Então, tô aqui falando português com vocês porque eu quero falar com vocês sobre meu ideias na minha cabeça, na minha mente, tá ligado? Então, eu só quero falar com vocês e a importância, porque eu acho que para todas pessoas nesse mundo é muito importante para eles para aprender essa habilidade para conversar com outras pessoas, para ter uma conexão com outra pessoa, tem um relacionamento também com outras pessoas quando você vai rolar ruas e fazer as coisas. Então, imagina, cara, se você não pode conseguir entender a outra pessoa, mas esse cara para lá, por exemplo, né? Ele pode ser seu primeiro amigo, seu primeiro funcionário, seu primeiro melhor amigo, entendeu? Tá ligado? Mas e só porque você não quer aprender como falar em outra língua com outras pessoas, quando você vai viajar todo mundo e faz uma coisa, caralho, como é possível para você ganhar essa conexão com alguém, pessoa, quando você vai viajar todo mundo? Não tem valor, entendeu? My point being, imagine if I was speaking the rest of this video in Portuguese to you guys, right? You wouldn't be able to build a connection with me. You're watching my content because you want to see what is this brother going to say over the next 60 minutes that allows me to build a better connection with him, because I like his mindset. Maybe you hate me. I like his mindset. You learning to speak another language is giving you an open pathway to go and build a connection with somebody else. Your next best friend, your next business partner, your next client, your next working relationship and or opportunity is literally lying on the back of a language that you don't want to learn. Chances are, if your first language is English, you probably have this mindset and mentality where, oh, I don't need to learn English, mate, because you know what I mean, everyone speaks English, and you know what I mean, English is the most spoken language in the world, Shannon. You know what do I need to do? You know, forget all of that. You need to take that mindset out of your head, and I'll tell you why. Just because English may be the most spoken language in the world doesn't mean to say that you are not at a disadvantage just because you can only speak English. Is English the most spoken language in the world? Yes, it is. But doesn't mean to say that it's the only language in the world that you should know. There's a difference. Yes, I can speak English. Yes, all of you, majority of people obviously going to watch me who speak English, duh. But at the same time, for me to just expect myself because I know how to speak English to not want to go and learn how to speak another language is just simply arrogant. In this life, you should be on a mission to go and improve yourself in all areas of life. But the easiest way to improve yourself is just be able to express yourself and every single accolade or thing you've achieved just in a different language. Imagine me right now. I don't have to do anything else, right, to improve myself if I didn't want to. All I need to do is go and learn other languages to go and showcase my value in a new language that I'm learning. For example, every single thing that I've done in my life, every single thing that I know, if I just spend the next 2 years mastering Portuguese, if I spend the next 2 years mastering Spanish, if I spend the next 2 years mastering Chinese, for example, without me having to learn anything new, I've just literally 2x'd the amount of value that I have. I'd even argue that it's more than a 2x, right? But I've just 2x the amount of value that I have without learning or gaining anything new, simply because all of the value I have over here that I can conduct and convey and describe myself speaking in English, I can now do in Portuguese, I can now do in Spanish, I can now do in Chinese. Does that make sense? So every single thing that I know about business, every single bit of wisdom that I've learned over the past 23 years, I can now go and articulate that in a different language where other people can now understand, and I'm tapping into new markets just like that. You probably watch a lot of my content, right? And you see me traveling, you see me going to all these new countries, which is sick. But the biggest lesson that I've learned is that if you're going to be traveling the world and going to meet new people, don't do it at a disadvantage just because you're too lazy to go and learn a couple words in a new place you've gone to go and visit. If I was to go and live in the Philippines for 10 years, I'm going to be learning how to say, "Como está po, salamat?" I'm going to be learning how to speak Filipino. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's just common knowledge. Don't be that person that wants to go and move to Thailand, for example, but can't be asked to go and learn any Thai. It's not just because of the fact you're learning Thai, but it's what that does for you. It opens up so many doors. Imagine there's two people, right, who've gone to relocate to Brazil. One person has dedicated themselves to learning Brazilian Portuguese and integrating into the culture, and the other person can't be asked and doesn't really make an effort to go and learn any type of language and just trying to get by with English, right? Who's going to get more opportunities? Who's going to probably make more money? Who's going to be able to build better relationships? Who's going to be able to feel more like home? Who's really going to be able to sink and ingrain himself into the culture? Obviously, we know the answer. It's the person who has taken the time to immerse himself into the culture through learning the language of the place or country that they're living in. Learning a language is not easy, but I'm telling you, it will literally have such an ROI on your life that once you've learned the new language, you'll never want to go back. One of my life goals is to become a polyglot. Genuinely, like, I'm going to be someone in the next 5 years who can speak 5 languages fluently. English, I can speak fluently. Patois, right? Portuguese, I'm not fluent, but I'm conversational. That's 3 languages I've got already underneath my belt. Plus I can speak some Thai, but we're not really including that. I'd say I can speak 3 languages, right? Semi-fluently to a good level, right? I got 2 more that I need to master. And it's because, imagine if I was to go and relocate to Brazil, right, which I am doing. Me being able to speak Portuguese means that I've just got access to Brazil's economy. I've got access to building networks. I've got access to things that's going to help me propel myself in this new chapter and trajectory of my life, compared to someone else who does the same but can't be asked to go and learn a new language, or puts no effort into building a new relationship because they don't want to go and learn the new language of the country that they're in. They expect everyone else to go and learn English. Don't be that person, please. That's the one thing I want you to understand from this video. Don't be that ignorant, shallow-minded person who believes that they don't need to go and learn another language. I know you right now know people who have the mentality where it's like, "Oh mate, I speak English, I don't need to learn another language, everyone speaks English." That person goes to every single holiday expecting the people in the country they're visiting to speak their language. How does that make sense? How can I go to Thailand, or how can I go to Vietnam and expect everybody to speak my language when I'm a guest in their country? It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Understand that you going to learn a new language is going to benefit your life in so many ways that you don't even understand. So me dedicating myself over the past 7 months, less than a year, I'm already conversational in Portuguese. I can have a conversation with someone in Brazil. Right, I can have confidence to be able to understand what's being said around me. Maybe I don't know how to say esophagus. Maybe I don't know how to say spatula, but I'm conversational enough to know that if you drop me somewhere in Brazil, right, or in a Portuguese speaking country, I'll be able to get by just fine because I've dedicated myself over the past 7 months. And 7 months is not even a long time. I need to give myself more credit, because for me to be able to falar português todos os dias com alguém, pessoa que eu quero falar com eles, acho que é bom, né? I think it's quite good for me to be able to be conversational at the level that I am just over 6 months, right? That's what happens when you actually apply yourself. My point being, let's say now that I was to go and change up everything that I'm doing and I was only going to speak Portuguese in every single video until the end of time. Obviously, I'm not fluent yet. Obviously, there might be some mistakes that I would make. I could get by, and I could probably have the same amount of success that I've had so far in my life by just speaking a different language, because I've tapped into a whole new market that if you can't speak Portuguese, you can't even tap into that. If someone else goes to speak Chinese, I cannot tap into that market. That's all these millions of people that I'm not able to go influence and help and guide and give wisdom on and learn from them and receive. You need to please put time and effort, right, into learning a language, but not just any language. Learn a language that has utility. Languages that have utility are languages that are spoken in multiple parts of the world, like Portuguese, like English, like Spanish, like Chinese. Go and learn, or like Mandarin, should I say. Go and learn languages that actually have utility, right? And watch so many opportunities open up for yourself. Imagine if tomorrow I was to go and work in a coffee farm and buy a coffee farm in Brazil, right? And go and do this in-person business. I could do that because I speak Portuguese, because I know I'd understand what's going on around me. I'd understand how to navigate myself in this new place, in this new country, doing this new thing. I've got more opportunities. If you speak more than one languages, or if you speak multiple languages, you have way more opportunities to make money than someone who just speaks one. Let's duplicate myself right now, and the other Thai Valley's in the next room, right? Doesn't have his hair done, not as long as this one. That Thai Valley can only speak English, but this one can speak 3. Who's gonna have more opportunities to make more money? Me. Because the same things I'm doing in one language in English, I can go and do again in Portuguese. I can go and do again in Patois. I can go and do again in whatever language I want, that I want to go and learn. Compared to this other guy over there who's only focused on just speaking English. Now, there is an argument where people are, oh yeah, but I want to be fluent in one language first. I want to be able to articulate myself better in English before I learn another language, which I understand, because I like to be able to articulate myself well as well. But at the same time, there's never either or, it's always both. You don't have to sacrifice learning new languages that's going to build you new connections, new relationships, and give you new opportunities to make money just because you want to be able to perfectly articulate yourself whenever you're in any given room. You can do both. I used to be that person who used to take the mick out of people when I was in school, when I was a kid, because they didn't know how to speak fluent English and because they was like an immigrant, right? Like I'm not big dark chocolate sexy myself. That's just so silly. But anyways, now that I'm an adult, I'm looking back at them people like, raw. I've met people when I was in like year 6, when I was like 9 years old, who could speak 3 languages, bro. And I was taking a piss out of them in class because they didn't know how to pronounce the word automated, but they're balancing 3 languages in their head. Science says if you can speak multiple languages, right, you've got an increased memory, your IQ's higher, and you've got a lower chance of getting dementia or Alzheimer's when you become an elderly person, because you're remembering how to say all these words. Like, for me to be able to just speak Portuguese off rip, I'm remembering all of these words in the back of my head. Learning a language has so much utility, and if you're only focused on learning and speaking one, and if it is English, I'm sorry, my friend, you're going to be left behind. Especially for me. Take this as advice from someone who's now living a global lifestyle, right? Living abroad, traveling the world, doing business in different countries, right? You have more utility learning more languages compared to me just learning one. Because if I'm going to be moving to Brazil, Dominican Republic, Colombia, wherever I want, logic says it's a good idea for me to go and learn how to speak multiple different languages when I'm in these different places, when I'm in these different countries and continents, compared to just want to be arrogant and only learn how to speak English. Just wanted to come on here and give you some value about the importance of speaking multiple languages. A lot of people have been asking me how I've been able to go and learn Portuguese so quickly. I can make a separate video on this if that's interesting or of interest to you guys. Just let me know down below in the comments. And as always, until the next one, let's go.